See, I think the first generation Miata.
Yes! Hello everybody, hello, good morning. You join me from Laguna Seca Raceway, and to my right is a man that needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway.
That's right.
Mr. Jay Leno, how are you?
Good to see you, my friend, thank you.
Thank you very much for spending some time with me.
This is the best place to do an interview. I think there's a noisier area. If we were right on the track, it might be a little bit.
Now, before I ask you some questions,
Yes.
I brought a present along with me.
Oh, what is that?
If I may, it's all the way from London.
A present from London.
A present from London.
Oh, that's a proper cap.
Do you wear caps?
Look at that.
Look at that.
Hey, I look good.
It's quite well documented that you have one or two cars, or 200
Well, I've always
plus.
liked cars and motorcycles.
Yeah.
Anything that rolls, explodes, and makes noise.
So my question to you is, how do you choose which car you drive, and which car do you drive most?
Well, I'm sure there are people with bigger problems, but yeah, I mean, the car I drive most, whatever we're working on at the time. I mean, to me, the great satisfaction is having something that's broken, working on it, get it running, and then going for a long test drive. I mean, that gives you a sense that you've accomplished something.
You have a lot of cars, obviously. How does your wife feel about that? How do you convince your wife?
Well, you know, it's fine. When you come home smelling of transmission fluid, they know where you've been.
Exactly.
You know, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, most car guys would rather work on their car or their motorcycle than be out fooling around. So, so that's the way it works.
That's a life lesson. So
Yeah.
if you are a guy and if you are married and if you are maybe straying, then get some odor transmission fluid, and then she'll
there
never
are
know.
sneaky people like yourself who...
Did Ford accept your Ford GT application?
Yes, they did actually. Yeah.
When is that coming?
I imagine it'll probably be right after the first of the year. So it'll be interesting. I've got a 2005 Ford GT that I like a lot.
Mr. Jay Leno, what era of cars do you like most? If you had to choose.
Well, two eras, I guess. The 30s and the 60s. I think the two best years are 1932 and 1966. By 1932, cars were here to stay. Everybody said, okay, the car won. So you had V16s, you had V12s, you had dual overhead cam, you had every exotic thing you had that cars have now, but only a few cars had then, in 1932. And then in 1966, at least in America, that was the last year for pure design. From 66 on, you had windshield had to be this big, headlights had to be this big. You know, the car like the Lamborghini Miura could not be designed today because it's got no bumper it's got no protection of any kind for anybody, but it's just a beautiful looking car. So those 2 years are my favorites.
Quick question, drift or grip?
Drift or grip? Well, I like a little bit of both, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean...
I'll allow that.
Is there any more fun than sliding a car through a turn? That slide and then saving it, putting your foot in it, so...
Except if you don't save it and then you crash into a curb.
Yeah,
that kind of sucks.
That's no good.
Has that ever happened to you?
Many times, yeah. I've done that many times.
Here's a question for kind of the younger audience. So
Yes.
imagine that you've got $5,000.
Right.
What is the best car that you're going to buy for that money for fun, for purity?
For $5,000, the best car you'd probably get for that money, we're talking sports cars now?
We're talking anything you want.
Well, I would think, I think the first generation Miata.
Yes!
Will be,
yes!
Yeah, will be,
Shake my hand, please.
See, I think
amazing.
that will be the Mustang for the next generation. When I was 15 years old, I couldn't afford a Mustang, and that was the coolest car. But by the time I got to be 30 or 40, they were flooded. They built 1 million of them. They flooded the market, and they were cheap, and you could make them handle and go fast, and they were fun cars. Now I see young guys, 25, buying for $4,500. You know, first generation Miatas. They're simple.
This is
they're
me
easy
all
to
over.
work on.
This is me all over.
Yeah, they're a wonderful car. They're a wonderful
So,
car.
I mean, I just want to put it out there. I haven't paid Jay Leno to say that. I am a... We discussed that we wouldn't say it on camera. But I have a Mark 1 MX-5. We call them MX-5s.
Yeah.
Sure, it's broken at the moment and the engine is completely buggered, but it has a turbo. And girls love it as well.
It's amazing how simple those look now.
Absolutely.
When you open the hood, you know. No airbag, none of that, you know.
So next time I'm in America, maybe I could come and visit you.
Sure,
we
you
could
come
do a
visit
Jay
me.
Leno's garage with Car Throttle collaboration,
Yeah,
and I can bring my Miata.
Bring a Miata. I'll show you. I've got a 96 Miata with a turbo on it.
Oh yes,
And
we
some
can
of the
race.
handling. Yeah, they're wonderful cars. I've also got a Mazda Cosmo, which is a fantastic car as well. So yeah, I'm not a snob. I like all sorts of vehicles. And you know, to me, the fun part about the Miata is, in some ways, it's really all the car you need.
I agree.
You know,
I completely
it does
agree.
everything. It handles.
Yeah.
It's fast.
Yeah.
It's fast enough.
Yeah, and if
that's
you've got a
what I
boot rack as well, then you have limitless space.
Right, exactly.
It is a
Yeah,
perfect car.
yeah.
Jay Leno just said it's a perfect car. What's your score like on Pokemon Go?
I'm
High
sorry,
score?
I have a life.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm over 12, so I'm okay.
And you're obviously a massive lover of cars. Do you give names to your cars?
No, I'm not. No, not really. The name they have works fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause
No.
my MX-5 is called Phil, and I have
Called
a
Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's being English. Most Americans would have a female name, but okay.
I have an E36 M3 called Colin as well. I kind
Called
of like
Colin.
Phil Collins.
Oh, I
So-
see. Phil Collins.
Is
yeah.
that cool?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah?
It's fine. It's far beyond
Again, I
pass judgment.
haven't paid for him to say that,
Yeah.
so we're all good. And my final question to you, Mr. Jay Leno, is can we do a Snapchat story together?
Sure.
Hello guys, I'm joined here by Mr. Jay Leno. Jay, how much have you enjoyed our time out of 10? We're going
Out of 10?
10? 10?
Can we get into negative numbers?
It's quite hurtful.
Oh, okay.
Negative?
That's just, you've got to be truthful.
You've got to be truthful. And on that note, I think we're going to call it because I feel like we're not going to be friends.
You are very intuitive.
That mother even looked terrified for me. Thank you very much for your concern. I must admit, this is quite nerve-wracking.